Hi, lovely to have you here. Welcome to the Electro Revolution EV News Brief. Now, we cover global news items in these types of EV news briefs, so let's get straight to it. Let's first talk about Tesla. Tesla, it cuts the price on a Model 3, and the way it's doing that is by stripping some kit. Let's get into the detail of that. Tesla this week, it introduced a lower priced Model 3 standard for European markets. That's priced around €37,970 in Germany. And how they did this? By removing premium items like leather and some convenience gizmos, while keeping a stated driving range above 300 miles. The move, that follows similar things back to basics on the Model Y trims earlier this year and appears aimed at defending volume against rising competition in the mass EV segment. Delivery windows for this starts in early 2026. Now, we'll also talk about the Tesla software and holiday update hints. Tesla rolled out a routine December holiday update teaser with small features and playful additions for owners. The kind of software refresh that keeps owners engaged over the holidays. Expect tweaks rather than headline features over this December. And now we come to Rivian. Rivian teases a major autonomy showcase. Rivian has scheduled an Autonomy and AI Day on December 11th, where the company promises a deeper look at the next generation of its driver assistance and autonomy plans. Analysts and owner communities expect concrete demos of Rivian's Gen 2 autonomy roadmap, a potential turning point if Rivian shows real hands-free capability and production readiness. And now going to BYD. BYD pushes holiday discounts and dealer cashbacks across Asia Pacific, and I reported on this earlier. China's BYD has extended regional sales incentives this month, including significant cashback deals in Australia and the Philippines. It's designed to clear inventory and maintain momentum against Tesla and local rivals. In Australia, limited time offers include a $4,000 cashback on certain Sealion 7 trims for December orders with end-of-month delivery. And now to look at Lucid. Lucid's leaning on gravity demand and corporate streamlining. Let's get into the detail of this. Lucid Motors says organisational changes are in place to accelerate its global expansion while leaning on gravity. Family SUV demand to lift Q4 production and revenue. Company commentary and market reactions suggest gravity is now central to Lucid's near-term output plan. And now this next news item. For the European model news, we're looking at the Renault 5 E-Tech and Mercedes GLC EV developments. So in Europe, the Renault 5 E-Tech continues to top the small EV segment, and Mercedes-Benz's new GLC with EQ technologies received global attention earlier this season for styling parity with ICE siblings and improved efficiency, a signal that mainstream premium brands are streamlining EV ICE design language. Now, regional availability varies. The Renault 5 is not slated for Australia at this stage. And now moving to Hyundai and Kia. They've got some lineup tweaks, model rationalization and range changes. So let's get into the detail of this. Hyundai recently simplified Ioniq 5 variants, dropping the smaller battery option and removing digital side mirrors in some markets. A move focused on production efficiency and clearer buyer choices. Kia is similarly reorganizing model offerings in preparation for new facelifts and the teased electric successor to the Stinger. And now moving to the latest news for BMW, Porsche and Stellantis. Incremental EV releases and feature rollouts. So with BMW and Porsche, they continue to roll out refreshed electric variants and software updates for existing models. While Stellantis, their brands are expanding their EV lineups into the mass premium tiers, all nudging the market to offer more choice in 2026 across price bands. Regional launch timing remains model by model. Now we can see brand press rooms for each country launch and calendars, and we'll do that at a later stage. Now looking at NIO and Chinese EV makers. Aggressive price and market plays. NIO continues service and battery swap expansions in key markets. Other Chinese newcomers are executing aggressive pricing and dealer promotions to gain footholds outside China, keeping global price pressures on incumbents. Dealers in Southeast Asia and the Philippines are back with year-end offers. Now, latest EV news by model releases and a snapshot by country. So let's look at the United States. Again, Rivian continues software and product teasers. Lucid Gravity, that's moving into heavier production allocation for Q4. And looking at Europe, Renault 5 E-Tech rising in small car sales. The Tesla Model 3 Standard, that's launched for European orders. In China, ongoing stream of new models from BYD, of course. And of course, we've got Zeekr and XPeng. Local launches, they continue at a brisk pace. Several models targeting export markets in 2026. And in Australia, new market entries this season, they include the Zeekr 7X and a continued influx of BYD models. State and federal incentives still are shaping buying decisions. Now, a detailed model by model availability, it depends on dealer and stocks and state incentives, and that's different per Australian state. Now, charging and infrastructure, an Australian update. Tesla's supercharger network in Australia has continued to expand, and more importantly, many locations now accept non-Tesla vehicles, albeit with higher fees and specific adapter requirements. But that change is improving and long-distance EV usability across the country. Meanwhile, the National Conservation on Road User Charging and Electricity Pricing continues to influence how fleet and private buyers calculate total cost of ownership. Now, policy and market indicators in Australia. State and federal incentive dashboards continue to vary. Some states offer rebates and novated lease advantages, while others narrow eligibility. Also, watch recent state moves to formalise road user charge frameworks for EVs, and that's a key factor that could shift buyer behaviour in 2026. Now let's look at Australia-specific retail and promotions. BYD Australia's short December cashback on the Sealion 7 and other seasonal dealer incentives are the clearest near-term retail story. A direct response to market pressure and model inventory optimisation before year-end. Tesla Australia also lists limited inventory offers through to December 31, tied to full self-driving supervised purchases. Safety and real-world testing notes. Independent Australian range tests, they've highlighted discrepancies between advertised WLTP and CLTC ranges and real-world figures for several models, and that includes a few from Kia and Tesla. And that's prompting more buyers to scrutinise real-world test results before they purchase. At the Sydney International EV Motor Show, and that's the one I went to earlier, and you've got some episodes there you can look at, a crowd-pleasing oddity from XPeng drew laughs. A demo of the X2 Flying car concept that critics called futuristic but door-challenged. Attendees reporting that the concept's quirky doors made for some humorous onstage fumbling. It's a reminder that not all futuristic EV concepts are ready for everyday garage life, and that sometimes the best headlines are the ones that make people smile. And that's the EV brief for today. The sources of all of this was mostly Reuters, The Guardian for the Tesla Model 3 Standard, Electric, the Rivian Tracker, the Rivian Newsroom, Car Expert, The Driven, Lucid Newsroom, and different market reports. So thank you to all of those news outlets which allow me to source that news for a EV brief like this. If you really enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share this content with someone who'd be interested, or just leave a comment. Even to say thanks, it really all helps. Until the next episode, I hope to see you there. Bye for now.